me. That's my opinion!
To the people of Oregon, my name is Krstafer Pinkerton, and what I'm about to say is not for shock value, it's not performance, it's testimony. Not in a courtroom because the courtrooms are part of the problem, but in the court of public conscience. This statement is going directly to the Oregon State Senate Judiciary Committee, the House Committee on Rules, the House Ways and Means Subcommittee on Public Safety, the Governor, the Attorney General, the Oregon State Bar, and the Office of the State Court Administrator. They will receive it by letter, by public broadcast, and in due time, by public demand. But tonight, I address you, the public, because you deserve the truth. So many Oregonians still believe the legal system exists to protect the innocent, correct the unjust, and defend the voiceless. But what we have in Oregon in 2025 is a machine that consumes the weak, profits off the incapacitated, and silences those who resist. You may have heard about something called SB 1003. Let me tell you what it really is. This bill, sold to the public as a reform, is in practice a fast track to death. They say it's about transparency, requiring hospice and healthcare providers to disclose their policies about death with dignity. But what it actually does is normalize institutional pathways for ending life. In a state where vulnerable people are already being pushed to the edge through guardianship, coercion, and isolation, and theft of those estates. It's euthanasia policy by bureaucracy, and they're setting it in motion before the people even realize what they've even agreed to. This isn't about empowering choice, it's about sanitizing abandonment, putting a legislative ribbon on a morally bankrupt process that too often begins with the phrase, "they're no longer competent." And then there's ORCP 35, the rule they'll use to shut you up if you try to fight back. ORCP 35 doesn't just apply to those who file frivolous lawsuits. It is now being weaponized to brand whistleblowers, survivors, and court critics as vexatious litigants. Once labeled, you need a judge's permission just to file suit, and the court can require you to pay a security deposit just to be heard. Let that sink in. Oh boy. In Oregon, you now need permission from the very branch you're accusing of misconduct just to seek justice. They've created a paywall around the courthouse. They've turned filing a lawsuit into a luxury. And they've built an official system to label the wounded as dangerous. Let that sink in. Let me be very clear. This is not law. This is legal fascism in slow motion. Very slow motion. The rot under the robes. An address to the Oregon legislator, the governor, and the Senate's complicit silence. To the members of the Oregon Senate Judiciary Committee. Do I have your attention yet? To the House Committee on Rules and the Ways and Means Subcommittee on Public Safety. Are you paying attention? To the governor of the state of Oregon and her Office of Legal Counsel. Are y'all listening now? To the Attorney General and to every bureaucrat in a robe, badge, or bar number pretending not to know. Got your attention now? Oregon's judicial system has rotted from the inside out. It is no longer a forum for justice. It is an enforcement mechanism for power. A cartel of state-sanctioned looting with a docket number. Imagine that. You don't just process cases, you process people. The elderly, the disabled, the mentally ill, the politically inconvenient, the legally unrepresented. Through guardianship petitions filed with no oversight, through fiduciary appointments that amount to state-sanctioned theft, through retaliatory mental health holds. You're doing it in Klamath County a lot. Through judicial immunity stretch into absolute authority. You already violated the Oregon Rules of Civil Procedure 53, the one that's supposed to safeguard due process in guardianship cases. You treat it like a footnote. You already passed Senate Bill 1003, and now you want us to believe you care about patient rights when your courtrooms are already making life and death decisions behind closed doors? Setting up RICO and robes to steal money from estates and trusts? And when somebody speaks up, when a daughter objects, when a friend files a motion, when a whistleblower shows up with receipts, what happens? They're declared vexatious. They're required to ask a judge for permission to sue. They're told to put up a cash bond just to access the rights they were born with. Shake my head. This is not due process. Don't be fooled. This is government by gatekeeper. This is a two-tier legal system, one for the bar and one for the rest of us. You know it. And if you don't fix it, we'll expose it. I'll do everything I can to do that. Everything. Shake my head. My demands to the Oregon legislature and judiciary: number one, repeal or amend ORCP 35 to include safeguards against its abuse. No citizen should have to ask for permission to file a civil rights case. Number two, freeze implementation of Senate Bill 1003 until a full audit is conducted, and prohibit its use in conservatorship-controlled settings where consent is suspect. Number three, mandate recording and public access to all guardianship, conservatorship, and psychiatric commitment hearings. It's only fair. It's only right. And number four, strip judicial immunity in cases involving fraud upon the court, suppression of evidence, and abuse of authority. Something you've never done before. Time to start. Number five, create a civilian oversight board with the power to subpoena and investigate judges, fiduciaries, and state officials. You do this or admit that you've abandoned the people of this state. Because if you don't do it, you're admitting you've abandoned the people of this state. Because you can't keep hiding behind your procedures. The public is watching. The victims are documenting. The whistleblowers are leaking. And every time you double down on secrecy, you multiply the evidence that will be used against you in the court of public opinion, and someday in a courtroom that actually works. Go figure. Final note to the public. Got your all attention now? This statement is going to be delivered in full to the individuals responsible for this system, and I will not stop speaking until every Oregonian knows what's been hidden and hidden in their courts. Tune in for my next segment, RICO in Robes, where we follow the money, unmask the judges, and expose how Oregon's courtrooms became staging grounds for legalized racketeering. This is Krstafer Pinkerton, and this is just the beginning.
You know what's good for me. That's my opinion!